I wish you all a happy feast day celebration of Saint Ignatius Loyola. Saint Ignatius Loyola is the founder of Jesuit community. I had the privilege of associating with the Jesuit community in India for more than 30 years. I am so happy to attend this celebration organized by Catalina de Leon and Deacon Steve Lipsky at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Acknowledge that, this is for the greater glory of God that we're doing this.
It was Lenny's idea to put this together, so she was definitely blessed with this inspiration. She put together the program that's on your table, and not just organizing it, but then printed out these wonderful programs for tonight. She worked with Vincent to get Father to come tonight. Then she worked with the ladies of the 2,000 Hail Marys, who we give you a lot of thanks for all your prayers and then for your service. And then, most importantly, she picked out some pretty cool tablecloths. So let's begin, as we should. When two or more are gathered in my name, we know that Jesus is with us. So let's begin in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to ask Father if he would do grace, and then we'll begin.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Bless us, O Lord, and the food that we are about to receive from your bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And you are free to line up. There will be people
Brother Joe.
That's a green one. It's very sweet. Just be careful. You don't want orange? What?
Say something. Say something.
Take my picture with my mom.
Video.
The picture of the Kaczmarowski painting that was initiated by St. Faustina, Jesus, and trusting it. So without any further ado, I once again want to give a big round of applause to Lenny. In 1972, and I've been reminded of this numerous times by Tom J., a word by said to a convention of Knights of Columbus in 1972 when asked, "Bishop, how will you save the church?" And Bishop Sheen's response is, "The Pope, bishops, priests, deacons, and religious won't save the church. It'll be the laity keeping the Pope, the bishops, the priest, the deacon, and the religious in check with them, moved by the Holy Spirit." So tonight is a great witness of how a layperson, Lenny, and of the ladies of the 2,000 rosaries who come here every first Saturday of the month and pray that miraculous prayer, have on their initiation created this wonderful event. So without any further ado, let's give a warm St. John's welcome to Father Joe.
What a beautiful chapel, what a beautiful evening. I'm happy to see you all here. Well, I'm very happy to be with you this evening and to share something about the Ignatian spirituality. What I want to do is just present some of the important elements of the Ignatian spirituality, which is basically rooted in the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola. These spiritual exercises are a collection of some of the meditations and some of the prayers, some of the contemplations by this great saint, St. Ignatius of Loyola. Now, to begin with, we all have different tastes and different preferences when it comes to choosing the material things like the cell phones or the drinks, the eatable things. Well, the same can be said for the spirituality, which I mean when it comes to exploring and nurturing one's own relationship with God. So we have got a lot of choices. One of the most popular options in Christian spirituality is the Ignatian spirituality. Now, before we try to understand what exactly is Ignatian spirituality, we try to understand what is spirituality. Spirituality, it's a common word, and it does not mean any particular practice. Although it includes prayer, piety, the so-called interior life. Ultimately, spirituality is a way of living, a way of acting. It is a way of being. For us Christians, like Catholics, spirituality can be defined as a life in accord with the Spirit of God, not in accord with any worldly standards or evil inclinations, but in accord with the Spirit of God. And the spirituality which helps us to become the sons and daughters of God. Now, in the Christian spiritual tradition, there are so many spiritualities like apostolic spirituality, the lay spirituality, monastic spirituality, the Franciscan spirituality, the Carmelite spirituality, and the Dominican spirituality, and the Benedictine spirituality, and of course we also have the Ignatian spirituality. Why so many spiritualities? Why can't there be only one spirituality? Yes, there is only one, like Catholic spirituality, Christian spirituality. So we can say these all spiritualities are the branches of the Christian spirituality. And each of these have a slightly different emphasis. For example, the Franciscan spirituality emphasizes more on poverty and the simplicity of life. And when it comes to the Benedictine spirituality, it places its emphasis on the regularity of life, on obedience, the Benedictine spirituality. And the Ignatian spirituality is all about finding God in every aspect of our daily lives. To find God in all things. What a beautiful place, to find God in all things. And that's the Ignatian spirituality. Well, now I said about the Dominicans, the Franciscans, and the Augustinians. Well, I think of something. It's all about a Franciscan, an Augustinian, and a Jesuit. One day, a Franciscan gets a haircut, and then he asks the barber how much he has to pay. And the barber says he never charges the clergy. And the Franciscan thanks the barber and then goes home. Then the next day when the barber opens his shop, he finds a big basket of fresh bread from the Franciscan kitchen. Well, the next day an Augustinian gets his haircut and then asks how much he has to pay. And the barber says he never charges the clergy. So the Augustinian thanks the barber and then goes home. And on the next day, when the barber opens his shop, he finds a few wine bottles from the Augustinian wine cellar. And then on the following day, a Jesuit gets his haircut and then asks how much he has to pay. And then the barber says he never charges the clergy. Well, on the next day, when the barber opens his shop, there are 12 other Jesuits already waiting there opposite the barber. Yeah. So we know the Jesuits, they are known for their intellectual capacity, learning. That's why we find everywhere their universities, colleges, schools, and all this. By the way, okay. Now, what exactly is Ignatian spirituality? Ignatian spirituality came out of the experience of a man called Ignatious of Loyola around 500 years ago. Now it is rooted in the life and the experiences of this great saint, Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Now, Ignatian spirituality begins with God. Now, you read any of the chapters in his writings, the so-called spiritual exercises, you come across very often God, 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 because he places God right top place, in first place. So that is for St. Ignatius. So it aims to bring people closer to God and more deeply into the world, not away from it. What I mean to say, when you read some of the spiritualities like the Dominican spirituality or the Augustinian spirituality, once upon a time the sages used to go to the deserts, to faraway places, maybe to some lonely places or to some of the mountain tops to pray, to be with God. But the Ignatian spirituality, it is the other way. It is not to go away from the world, but rather to be in the world, among the people, and then to help others to go closer to God. So millions of people today follow the Ignatian way because it is concrete and it is practical and it is very simple. It is very, very simple to practice the Ignatian spirituality because it's all about finding God in all things. Maybe to say maybe very easy, to find God in all things. But what do you say? Is it that easy to find God in all things? When things go well, no, it's easy to find God in everything. But when it is not, it's very difficult to find God in all things. But finding God in all things is the big part of Ignatian spirituality. Finding God in all things is the core of Ignatian spirituality and is rooted in our growing awareness that God can be found in every person, in every place, and in every situation. Because in the book of Genesis, we read God created the human being in his own image and likeness. Could you all see, look at each other's face? Yeah, good. Now, so suppose if you are able to see the image of God, it is something great. That is the Ignatian spirituality. So, finding God in everyone, in every place, and in everything. So we can find God in all things. For example, even when you start a conversation with someone, or when you are walking, when you are eating, when you are reading, you can find God. You can even listen to God's voice, talking within yourself.